your girl Tessa Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple rumors going around here saying that there is Tessa Blanchard in talk with WWE and AEW. Now,
I doubt that. Okay.
now, once again, there was a report that came out and said that AEW said that they did not want to work with Tessa Blanchard. It's a since her release, there has been speculating reports that AEW Wrestling has no interest in signing Tessa due to allegations from earlier this year. If you're not familiar with the allegations, she was set to defeat the first woman to win the Impact World Champion and the first woman to win like a world championship other than Sexy Star from Lucha Underground. And we see what happened to Sexy Star, right? So, then it came out when she was asking for some support. I forgot who the woman that was that came out and told her like, "Oh, you mean the time like you spit in that black girl's face and called her the N-word," and then all these other women just tacked on all this stuff that happened with Tessa Blanchard. And the thing is, what made it worse is Tessa ain't never apologized for nothing. She never even admitted it. She doubled down. She said this wasn't. I didn't do this. And then even when
hey, wasn't me.
It wasn't. But even when after a lot of her co-workers or peers came out and said it was her, and the woman that allegedly she did it to came out and said that happened, she still didn't break. So
it wasn't me.
It wasn't her. It's kind of like caught on camera, and then it's just like, I don't know who that is. It ain't me.
I don't know who that is.
So
it might be. I don't know.
So Tessa got fired from Impact Wrestling, not because of that, because she held the title.
She did get fired, but she kind of knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, because she didn't send in her interviews package and stuff like that when it came to.
Because not even that, but it was like we have a match for the title. You're in the main event for the title. Like, are you gonna come and defend? She was like, no. It was like, well, you're the champion. She was like, all right. Then it was like, hey, well, you gotta go.
Yeah, so they fired her.
Can you send the title back, please? No. Well, we gotta make a new title too. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So okay. So that was a big loss for Impact. And
I wouldn't say that much.
Tessa was one of the Impact's biggest stars. Despite how you feel about it now, she was one of Impact's biggest stars.
Yeah, but they still have a strong women's division, so I don't think they're gonna be missing them much.
You're right. So
even though they did get a title to Eric Young, I don't know. Rich Swann got it now, which is cool, I guess. But they did give it to Eric Young first.
You're right. So there was those allegations. So
actually, no, 3 people had it since then. Dang.
Yeah, let me pass that on.
Yeah, Eddie Edwards, then Eric Young, then Rich Swann.
Yeah. So they said they had no interest in signing Tessa, and some went to go as far as say that the AEW women's locker room didn't want Tessa as part of AEW. The women's roster didn't want a part of the locker room.
Yeah, why would you?
But now, here's the thing. Wrestling Inc. I don't know how credible Wrestling Inc. is.
Most of the time, Wrestling Inc. is with Matt Morgan and Raj Geary and I forget the other dude. They're somewhat. They mostly get it right.
Okay, so
like 70% or more.
Okay, well, they said that Wrestling Inc. can confirm that this reporting is not true, and there is interest from both WWE and AEW in signing the third generation wrestler. They said, okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like her dad is there, so he could have a little pull in that as well. That is where her dad is.
I do agree with that. Yeah. They said for what they've heard, the reason Tessa has not signed with either company is because she is still celebrating her recent marriage and fellow to.
So she done been She done been doing her honeymoon for about 8 months now. I'm so serious. That's why she was in Mexico. She didn't want to come back.
Yeah, she was on a honeymoon. To fellow wrestler Daga.
He got fired too.
Yeah. So the two are currently resigning.
Stupid looking for a job.
Yo, you pissed at them. Okay, it's gonna be juicy then.
No, because how you gonna tell them? No, I'm not coming back because I'm on the honeymoon. When you already been on a honeymoon for 6 months and they letting you go off, be off work for a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And you are the world champion. You're not the women's champion. You're the world champion. Like, who does that?
Exactly. That was some crazy shit. So, they said she's resigning in Mexico while they are waiting out the pandemic before making any further moves. Once the pandemic winds down or gets more under control, the two will be moving back to the States, and she's expected to choose which promotion to sign with, whether it be WWE or AEW. Now, that is according to what Wrestling Inc. is saying. Now, you said that these guys are kind of credible, so it could.
For the most part, usually they kind of have like inside sources sometimes.
And honestly, AEW will be the way she'll probably go, because if Vince bring her there, he gonna just try to automatically shoehorn her to Vince is gonna be fighting whether she go to NXT or WWE. But her dad,
I just don't like her. I don't like her in AEW.
I mean, honestly, I don't. How do I put this? I am a fan of Tessa Blanchard. I ain't gonna lie to you, because she is a great wrestler, pretty to look at. I like Tessa Blanchard, but if these accusations are true, in which everybody comes out and said that they are, then you're a piece of trash for that. If you're holding the Impact World Championship and not coming on dates or not sending in promos or not doing anything where this company who put their trust in you like that. Cause I'm not saying don't go out there and get married. You gotta live your life.
That's kind of like Austin Aries. He hasn't had work since he did that thing with Impact, so where he just kind of dropped the title and kind of crapped on them and kind of like no-sold the whole thing after the main event.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. See,
he kind of hasn't got work since then.
Shit like that, when you can't be professional, that bothers me. And I'm like, look.
Yeah, but even that, if they taking her on as a bully, I don't think nobody in that locker room gonna want her if they all are friends, especially Big Swole. I believe Big Swole was one of the people that she had a problem with.
Yeah, because Big Swole came out in defense of the black girl or the Afro-Latina girl that she spit on and called that word to. She said, "Yeah, I was there." Mm-hmm. When it happened.
If we got to choose between Tessa Blanchard or Big Swole, I think they'll choose Big Swole. Like, as far as, like, who to, like,
I mean, Big Swole, look, we're going to be real here. Big Swole's not a better wrestler than Tessa Blanchard is.
It's not, but they prefer her loyalty over Tessa Blanchard, I would assume.
I mean, now, the question, like, I don't know if Tony Khan wants to, because Tony Khan is like, I don't know sometimes which way of the fence that Tony Khan lands on sometimes, but Tony Khan seems to be like more on the, like, I just want good people in my company, because remember he said, Hulk Hogan, you're not invited to AEW,
yep.
type thing like that. And I mean, I know a lot of people been coming out talking about some, well, your dad's a Trump supporter, and I'm like, well, his dad has been on record supporting Trump's economics, but does not like his views on how he treats people of different races. So it's kind of fucking difficult. So with that being said,
I think that's his dad though. Does he have the same brain as his dad?
Oh, he does. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about this is what people say on the internet.
I know what I'm saying. Yeah. Some people say it as if that's what he thinks. Like that's his dad. Like,
yeah. I mean, you don't have to think the way your dad thinks or whatever the case may be, but just going by what he said about Hogan and his Hogan's wife, saying they're not invited to AEW because of the shit Hogan has done, and I'm like, Tessa done some shit. Now the question is, maybe Tully, and that's her dad, is having some pull to bring her over here, because first of all, AEW need who. If you look between AEW and WWE, AEW has the worst women's division, opposed to where WWE has the better women's division, but AEW has the better tag team division.
Yeah, yeah.
So they will want Tessa Blanchard over there, but the question is that headache. It would need to be more. As much as I would just love for it just to be one person, it needs to be more than just Big Swole that don't want it back there. Because right now, Big Swole.
I don't think Brandy want it either.
You said who?
Brandy.
Or then that's the head something in charge. You know what I'm saying? Because she right there with Cody. Like if Brandy don't want it there, Big Swole don't want it there. But I mean, not just black girls. I'm just saying if the women don't, because you know what I'm saying, they don't listen to black women, and it's a shame. And it's just like
but she's had a trouble bullying, and then she comes there and even attempts to bully. It's like just if someone has a track record of bullying everywhere they go, why even invite them to your company?
I agree with you.
That's not good. That's toxic for the locker room.
I agree with you. That's why I was saying, like, okay, well maybe it'll be a thing where it's like, okay, well fuck it, they just maybe Wrestling Inc. is wrong, or maybe they did, or maybe it really is a case where AEW probably don't want her, and they're like, well, if that story gets out, like, if the story gets out that AEW don't want her, right? Why would anybody else pick her up? But if you put the story out there that says that ain't true, she has all these options, then it'll be more likely to say like, okay, maybe Vince will be more open to picking up Tessa, because if Tessa's a problem. And say if she get on Charlotte nerves, Bianca Belair nerves, or Bailey, Sasha Banks nerves, and she out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She out of there because those women pull some things over there. If Vince will go back, all right.
I mean, could just be buried like Lana.
Oh God. I don't know. So it's a very hard thing because I'm like, well, does she come back? Does she not? Like, me personally, I'm really like, I don't know which way. I don't know which way it lands on, to be honest with you. But hey, me personally, I'm like, yo, there's consequences for your actions, and I ain't just talking about just the racist action. I'm talking about the way you handle the stuff with Impact Wrestling, because you made Impact look like a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You made it look like a joke. Your bullying, your racism, whatever the case may be, there are consequences for those actions, and you have to pay for them. And I'm like, and for them to say that she's still down there enjoying her engagement, and I'm like, so y'all moved then, because I'm like, y'all at the honeymoon phase, y'all been married damn near a year almost, and like, if y'all wait for the pandemic to like Tessa Blanchard, no. That if she come back into the States, somebody of her caliber, she can get a job right now. Now, who's to say that saying maybe she don't want to work during this pandemic? Because I don't know what COVID looked like down in Mexico. I don't know what it looked like down there in Mexico. But if she don't,
she has been there for over a year actually.
Yeah, so if it's not bad down there. And she's like, I don't want to come back to the States and deal with and I'm high risk, whatever the case may be. Then but it's very unfortunate, man, because it's like 2020 was the fall of Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah,
it really was.